You live here on this planet somewhere, and everything that you've ever known is located right here. But just how small exactly is Earth when compared to the scale of the entire universe? Let's start by zooming out to where we can see our nearest cosmic neighbor, the Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies. But in reality, the Moon isn't this close to our planet. It's actually about 384,400 kilometers away from you right now, on average. You could fit 30 entire Earths in between this distance. And if you somehow were able to drive a car at a constant 100 kilometers per hour speed, it would take you about 160 days to drive the entire distance. Despite this incredible distance, 12 humans have actually set foot here, representing the farthest any individual human has ever been from Earth and one of humanity's greatest achievements. This is what the Earth would look like from there if you were standing with them. And if you wanted to communicate with somebody back at home, it would take a message about 2.5 seconds to travel between you and them, since that's how fast light travels. This is a photo taken on Mars. That tiny dot you see there is Earth as seen from the Martian surface. On average, Mars is an incredible 225 million kilometers away from Earth, but that distance can be as high as 401 million kilometers. That means whenever humanity finally lands a human on Mars, that person will be 986 times further away from Earth than the astronauts who landed on the Moon were. And the time delay for sending a message from Mars back to Earth isn't just 2.5 seconds. It's actually more like 20 minutes in each direction, which would render instant communication in the event of an emergency impossible. When we zoom out even further, we find the Voyager 1 space probe, the farthest man-made object from Earth. It is currently located 138 Australian dollars from Earth. AU means astronomical unit, which is the distance between the Earth and the Sun. That means Voyager 1 is 138 times farther away from us than the Sun is. At some point on its long voyage, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took this photograph. It may not look like much at first, but in my opinion, this is the greatest single photograph ever taken in human history. That tiny pale blue dot is Earth. And I don't think anyone has ever said something as powerful about this as Carl Sagan, when he said, "If you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived out their lives. The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager. Every hero and coward. Every creator and destroyer of civilizations. Every king and peasant. Every young couple in love. Every hopeful child. Every mother and father. Every inventor and explorer. Every teacher of morals. Every corrupt politician. Every superstar. Every supreme leader. Every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 17 kilometers every second. But even at that speed, it won't break out of the reach of our solar system for another 30,000 years. Once we go beyond the solar system, we arrive in our interstellar neighborhood. Here, we switch to a new unit, the light year, the distance that light travels in a full Earth year, about 9.461 trillion kilometers. The star Proxima Centauri, the closest star to us other than the Sun, is still 4.24 light-years away. To put that into perspective, if Voyager 1 was heading in the right direction, it would still take over 70,000 years to reach it. Or, if you tried to drive there at 100 kilometers per hour like our earlier Moon example, it would take you over 6 times longer than the entire age of the universe to get there. And the destination wouldn't even exist by the time you arrived. Zooming out more, we can see the entire Milky Way galaxy. Earth is located right here. This tiny yellow dot represents the farthest extent of humanity's radio broadcasts. That means any aliens living outside of this range are completely unaware of humanity's presence. It's total silence beyond that dot, as far as we currently know. Yet the Milky Way spans over 100,000 light-years from end to end. It contains over 100 billion stars and at least 100 billion planets. But even so, 99% of the stars you see with your naked eye come from just this tiny region within the galaxy. Even this massive galaxy, though, is small when compared to what's beyond it. Zooming out again, we reach the local group of galaxies, a collection of 54 different galaxies spanning about 10 million light-years. Zooming out further, we see the Virgo supercluster, of which the local group is just one part. Inside the Virgo supercluster are at least 100 other galaxy groups like our own. The whole thing spans about 110 million light-year. But even the enormous Virgo supercluster is just a small part of the Laniakea supercluster, a massive structure that contains over 100,000 galaxies. The distance from one end to the other is 520 million light-years. Zooming out one final time, we reach the edge of the observable universe. Even the mighty Laniakea supercluster is just a tiny dot in this cosmic panorama. The observable universe contains everything we currently know of, at least 2 trillion galaxies, each with billions of stars. That's more stars than grains of sand on the entire Earth. The distance from Earth to the edge of the observable universe is 46.5 billion light-years, making its total diameter a staggering 93 billion light-years. But here's the most fascinating part: what lies beyond the observable universe? Keep in mind, the observable universe is just what we can currently see. It's entirely possible that the actual universe is vastly larger and more incredible than we can ever imagine. The light from many of these faraway regions hasn't had enough time to reach us yet, and some of it never will. Some parts of space are expanding away from us faster than the speed of light. This means that the light from those places will never, in all of eternity, reach Earth. Even if humanity exists forever, there will be regions of the universe we will never know about, never see, never touch. So it's very likely that, as unbelievably massive as the observable universe is, it's just a tiny fraction of the entire universe. According to the theory of cosmic inflation proposed by Dr. Alan Guth, if inflation began at 10 superscript 3 seconds after the Big Bang, and if the size of the universe before that moment was its age multiplied by the speed of light, then today, the entire universe could be at least 150 sextillion times larger than the observable universe. That number looks like this: 150 septillion. Let that sink in. It's like imagining the entire observable universe as the size of a light bulb, and then realizing the real universe is as big as Pluto. Imagine a glowing light bulb floating in the center of Pluto, and we, inside the bulb, are completely unaware that Pluto exists around us. That's how small we are. But don't worry, because all this means is that there's still so much left out there for us to discover together. To hear about more interesting findings in the world, do subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video.